So in the previous video, I talked about how to register for classes. So in this video, I'm going to go over kind of like a bigger breakdown of some of the information you'll find, as well as if you're like, well, I don't necessarily want to log in, and how you can find class information and kind of plan for registering for classes that are coming up, as well as I know you have an advising meeting with your advisor and planning your next semester assignment, so you can kind of use this as well to help plan for that meeting. So let's say you don't want to log into your My Lone Star. You're like, I just want to like preview classes. I don't want to deal with all of that. So here's an easier way. So again, go to mylonestar.edu. You're going to scroll down, and right here in the middle, it says search for classes. Just click on it. It'll pop up with this window. You're going to hit view classes. And we're going to come back to the screen where we're looking at the semesters. So again, we're going to hit summer 2025 because that's the example I'm using. And we're going to look for some other classes. Again, I'm biology, so I'm using examples, but you would look for whichever class you're looking for. All right, so let's say again, all right, I need, let's say biology 1409. So, but I only want to take it at Kingwood campus. So we're going to select Kingwood. We want open classes because we want spots available. And I'm going to see here, okay, 1409. So click it. And then I see there's only one session, so I only have one option. But let's say I want to find some information about this class. More information about maybe like what book I want. Maybe is there other, like, who's the professor? I mean, I can see it's Erica Schott, but like over here, but like, how do I contact her? How to do that? So to find some more detailed information, you're going to select either lecture or lab. It doesn't matter. It's going to give you the same information. Select it. And it's going to pop up with this screen. It's going to initially take you to what they call enrollment information. So it's going to list the course, Biology 1409, Biology 2, non-majors, non-science majors, lecture. It's going to list the class and then your section. It's going to say that it's open, so there are seats available. Here are some important things, requirements. So these are anything that you need to do before you take the class. So for here, it says college level readiness in reading and writing. Usually that's covered, but when you're admitted to the college, so you all should be good. It's also going to say class notes. So if there's anything that the professor wants you to know, so they're letting you know this is online class, you have to have access to D2L, and it's not self-paced. So what that means is that you can't just like, well, I don't want to, I can turn things in when I want or take my test when I want. It's no, like the professor sets the due dates for the test and assignments and stuff, and you have to submit things by the due date. So for other information, we're going to hit class details. Again, it's going to list so you know what class you're looking at here, Biology 1409. It's going to tell you it's 4 credits. It is a graded course, so you're going to get a grade in A, B, C, etc. like that. It's going to tell you the mode, so this class is 100% online. Your campus is Kingwood, and then your location is also Kingwood. So meeting information. So this is all online, so there's no dates. If you did have a class that was meeting in person, it would tell you the day, the time, where you're supposed to go. This here is important. This is your instructor. If you click on it, it will give you her contact information. So she does not have a phone number. She's probably an adjunct. A lot of our adjunct instructors, which essentially are part-time instructors, don't have phone numbers. But it has an email. So if you click her email, it'll bring it up. And if you have a question about the course, like I'm confused about what book I need or what do I need to prepare for the course or anything like that, here's how you contact her. Where do you run over enrollment information? Class availability. So registration for summer hasn't started yet, so obviously there's no one in the class. But if you wanted to see like how many spots are open, for example, you would come here once registration is open. So class capacity means the maximum number of students that are allowed in a class, so 28. This is usually dependent on how many chairs are in a classroom, so there's not a lot necessarily of wiggle room, and I think online they have a way they determine it. So that's how many total they can have in the class. Enrollment total means how many students are actually currently enrolled in the class. So obviously registration hasn't opened, so there's 0. Once registration opens, you can see, okay, 4, for example, have registered or not. Available seats. So these are how many spots are left that basically you can take up. So obviously 28 because no one's in the class yet. This is the waitlist capacity. So this is what we were talking about earlier, that wait list. If you're like, well, I really wanted this course, and let's say, there are 28 enrolled and 0 available, wait list capacity says how many they will allow to be put on that waiting list for in case the event someone drops the course that they'll be contacted. So there is a limit to that. So that will tell you the maximum number allowed. And then this will tell you how many are currently on the wait list. So for example, if let's say the max capacity is 5, we only allow 5 students on the wait list. If this total says 5, that means we've hit our capacity, which means you're not going to be allowed to be put on the wait list. Now, for example, if this says 5 and this number says 3, it means we haven't hit the max capacity yet, so you can go ahead and request to be put on a wait list if that's what you want. The other important thing are textbooks and other materials. So there's a note here saying, so Lone Star College works through Academos. You do not have to buy your books from Academos if you find somewhere cheaper. This is student advice, just another students. Please just buy them cheaper elsewhere. But if you want to see what courses you are, you can click the bookstore link here. It will take you to the bookstore where you can look at what books and stuff are required for your course. So hopefully this cleared up some questions. Let's actually look at, I want to show you a class where it does have requirements. So you can see what that looks like and be like, oh, okay, that's what it means. So you can always hit the back button up here to go back to your listings here. So let's look for, it'll reset. I realized, FYI, it's kind of frustrating, but it's definitely like it came in. So let's look at, let's say we want to take 2402. So we select 2402, and we see all of these classes being offered. So let's say we want to take an in-person class. So let's say we want to look at this class right here. Click it. So you can see here that there's no class notes, so the professor doesn't really have anything that they feel is necessary to share. So you see prerequisites. So a prerequisite, like we said, is something that you have to do before you take this class. So college level readiness in reading and writing. That's probably going to be general for a lot of your classes you're taking. Like I said, it's required by the college, usually when you're admitted, so you guys should be fine with that. But here we see another prerequisite biology 2401. So that means in order to take biology 2402, you had to have passed 2401. Usually there's a certain grade that's required. It's not just, usually they don't take these. Usually it's C and above, but don't quote me on that. So let's say, if you hadn't taken 2401, that means you have to go back, find 2401, take that class, and then take 2402. So that's what it looks like if there's prereqs here. The other thing too, to show you the difference, so meeting information, because this is a face-to-face class, it's going to fill out here the dates, Monday through Thursday, so that means Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's going to give you the time, it's going to give you the building number, so this is Science Instructional Building, it's room 109, again, your professor here. Now, because these classes also have labs, for face-to-face, it's important to also open up the lab because the lab meets at a different time. So you can see here it's 11:10 to 1:10. So that way you make sure that you're going to both lecture and lab if you're taking a class that has that component. So hopefully between the last video of how to register, you know how to register for your classes. We went over some information here about what information defines. Usually the next question students have are like, what classes am I supposed to take? So go ahead and find that video. I have another video there of what classes am I supposed to take?